Hello everybody and welcome back to On Point HQ, and Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. I hope everyone had a very spiffy and fantastic Christmas. I did. I was away for 3 days where I consumed my body weight in red wine and turkey until I could take no more. But I'm back home now, and I thought I would crack on with a bit of hobbying. So what's today's video about? Well, I'm going to show you how I go about making scenic bases to tie my army together, specifically for my late war Germans. So this is my late war Pack 40 with a kit bashed Fallschirmjäger crew. There'll be some closer photographs on screen now. I've also done a video about this. I'll link to that in the description. But one thing that stands out about this is the base. It's quite big. But I did that on purpose because I really wanted to go to town in it, make it really scenic, rather than just a plain old base with a bit of clump foliage and some tufts on it. So what I thought I'd do is show you how I go about doing that. But what I'm going to do is use this recently completed Fallschirmjäger machine gun team. Now again, this is one that I covered in my kit bashing video. Again, a link in the description. As you can see, it's all painted, it's all done, and it's ready to be based. Now what I want to do is use the same technique that I did on this to link this. Make it look as if they're fighting in the same area, the same town, possibly even the same street. So what I'm going to do is show you the bits and pieces I'm going to use. I'm actually going to probably do it live. Some of it live, some of it not so live, if that makes any sense. It probably doesn't, but it will make sense when I come to do it. So I'm going to do the adding bits and pieces of the base live. Then I've got to add the grit. Now I always allow it to dry overnight, so the video will probably be split up while I wait for that to dry. But I will show you the bits and pieces that I use, the materials, and just the effect that I'm really going for. So what I'm going to do now is just rearrange the desk and the camera slightly because I can't work with this in front of me. I'll probably end up losing a finger or wrecking it, or a combination of the two. So I shall be back presently where I'll show you exactly how I go about putting this together. So see you soon. Okay, welcome back. So the desk has been slightly tidied up and the camera is in a better place so that I can show you exactly how I go about making these scenic bases. They're really easy. They don't really require a lot of materials and they go together quite well. The main purpose though is to use them to link individual artillery teams, medium machine gun teams, mortar teams, etc. As if they're fighting in the same, like I mentioned earlier, the same town, same street, if it comes to that. But I'm going to talk you through now exactly what I do. So first of all, what I want to do is, what effect am I looking for? So what I want is walls and timber. So it's a couple of broken walls, timbers from floorboards, from attics, etc. that have collapsed in, fallen into the street, or what have you, just to give it that kind of more scenic nature. Now, a material that I work with, and I've mentioned this previously in other videos, for making walls, is this. This is corkboard. This is a table mat. It's not a very nice one, but cork is fantastic for working with. Very versatile, and yeah, you can use it for many different things. As you'll see, I go through this quite a bit. This has already been worked on. So what I'm going to do is show you exactly what I do to get this from here to the base. So as you'll see, there's a flat edge there from where I have used a previous part, and here's a bit that I've cut off already. I'm not going to use that because I've just seen it's broken, so it's no good for my requirements of the stage. So what I'll do is just use a bit here. Now what I like about this is there's no subtle technique for doing it. Basically all I do is rip and tear. Clearly that's too big for the base, so we're going to get a pair of these, which are just normal cutters. I normally use these for taking things off sprues. Now I've already got a nice kind of smoothish, flattish bottom there. What I'm going to do is just kind of cut that down and then work out where I'm going to put it. I probably get 3 or 4 walls out of this. So what I want is sort of one going across there, one going across there, and possibly one there, and I'll fill in the gaps. I've got some cut-offs. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, that, and then that. So that again straight away has given us a wall essentially. What I want to do though is sort of smooth it down. I just use a normal file. That works really quite well. Will sit well on the base. And what I can do as well is just use this to rip a few lumps out, make it look as if it's damaged. What I like about this cork is it's really easy to work with. It's so soft, but it really does get that really good effect of walls. So that's one. So what I'm going to do is put that. It's looking a bit too big, so I'll just rip that bit off there. I think that'll probably work. It's a bit lopsided, so I just need to file it a bit on this side here. That's looking nice and flat. So what we've got there is one wall. So I want a smaller one just in front. So what I'm going to do is just cut this so it's a bit flatter. Steel ruler and craft knife. There we go. It's nice and straight. Doesn't actually need file on that. That's quite good. And then it's a bit tall, so we're going to break that down and put that on like so. I'm liking that. Looks quite good. So that's all of the cork needed for now. So as you can see, rough placing. But it does the job quite well. So what I'm going to do now is go to my trusty offcut tub, and in here I've just got brick sized bits and pieces that every time I do this I end up with bits and pieces, and I normally just break them down into sort of again just individual brick or broken masonry size, and these will be used again just to complement the broken wall. So I think 4 will do for that. And we shall put that over there. So that's the offcuts done. So we need to work out where they were again. So like that, and I'm going to put just a few bits and pieces knocking round. Now, like I mentioned earlier, actually what I'm going to do is just change that slightly because it looks a bit too big. What I don't want to do is for the scenery to overshadow the actual miniature, which wouldn't be the best. There we go. That works a hell of a lot better than it was before. And then we will add the individual bricks. So what I do is just very easily just use super glue to apply this. I'll show you how I do that now. So we'll do this one first. I always use super glue gel rather than the normal super glue. You can just work better with it, and it doesn't fly out all over the place and leak everywhere, which super glue has a habit of doing. So all I'm going to do is pop that on there like so. Just going to stay. Second one, again just a bit of super glue gel. Don't need too much because this stuff is lethal when it comes to sticking. Well, it's super glue, so it'd have to be. And pop that on there. So So as you'll see, that's the 2 walls done. So what we want to do for a bit more realism is just add a few offcuts. So these are individual bricks, and I will add these at the back. Again, small dab of super glue gel. Just pop it into place. And another one there. Try and make it a bit irregular. That's slid around quite a bit, but that still looks fine. And then I'm going to put one more. Let's use that little piece there. Actually, use that piece. Dab of super glue gel, and we're going to add that there. So that's all the cork added to the base. Really, really simple. Nothing really overly complicated about it. Now what I want to do is add a few, I guess I mentioned before, a few planks, bits of timber. Now, like a lot of hobbyists, I have my balsa wood stash. I've had this for many years, and it comes in very handy for no end of projects. So what I'm going to be doing is, I chose 2 grades. That one's quite thick, that one's quite thin. I'm going to go for the thinner one. I'm not going to really go overboard with this. I just want a couple of bits in between. So with balsa wood, like, if you've never worked with balsa wood before, it's really easy to work with, but I always cut them with the grain rather than against it, otherwise it's got a tendency to kind of rock up. So what I'm going to do is cut myself some individual planks. Like so. So again, very, very small and thin. You don't have to have a uniform length or width for these. And all I'm going to do is literally break them. I'm not going to use all of these. I just want to see which ones look better once they're all snapped. So that's given me 7 pieces. Now what I don't want to do is completely fill the base with balsa wood. I just want the occasional plank. So what I'm going to do is cut that down slightly. Let's use these. Off cut into the water. Can't beat that for a fine Olympic style shot. Right, so I'm going to put that one in there. I'm going to get this one and just put it there, and then one more. I'm going to balance it across the bricks like everything's come down or collapsed. So again, these are just attached to the base using a bit of super glue gel. Tweezers may come in handy here. So again, drop of gel on the balsa wood. Again, slide that through and press it down with the tweezers. And the last part is just this chap here. And then blue super glue, and boom, there we go. Just put that in there. Again, don't want to go over the top. I'm going to be adding more bits like kind of tufts once it's done, but that is the start. So what I'll do is I'll take some photographs of this and I'll pop it on screen now, just so there's a few closer shots. I know the light's not great in here. And then what I'm going to do now is go away and apply the grit to the base. Now for all my grit, you can see I use this. It's a kind of a it's a fine to medium grit. I think it's Javis. I've been using it for years though. I need to track down a new bag because I'm getting really close to the end of that one. And what I'm going to do is just very simply use a brush and some PVA and apply that into all the nooks and crannies. Leave that to dry overnight. I'm going to paint it and then I'm going to add all the bits and pieces. So next time, or the next part of the video, it will all be done and painted and bits and pieces, and I'll talk you through. So see you soon. Hello and welcome back, and that is the basin finished. There'll be a couple of photographs on screen now for a better close-up of what it actually looks like, but that is the finished model. Really quite happy with how it's turned out. In the last section of the video I went through how I put on the cork basing and the balsa wood to represent timbers. So what I've done after that is I've gone in and painted the base. Oh, I did grit as well, as I outlined. That's all been painted now. It was initially painted all in Vallejo burnt umber. Once that was dry, I then did a couple of dry brushes using burnt umber and sunny skin tone, and then burnt umber and ivory, followed by a really light dry brush of just ivory at the end, just to pick out the edges of the rubble and the walls. What I've also done is added, as you'll see, it hasn't worked out quite as well as I wanted it to have done, but I've added a poster to the wall. I did this on my Pack 40 and I really like the effect. I love the idea of posters on walls during World War II. It's so iconic. So I added that. Again, it could be a bit better. I think I chose the wrong poster. There wasn't much colour on it, but live and learn. I'm not too downhearted about it. It looks okay. What I also did as well was add a bit of static grass. Now, the grass I use for this is this stuff. So it's from Warlord Games, Battlefields and Basing, and it's patchy grass. It works really well. It's not too bright, but it's not too dull. Just gives that really neutral look. That's really good. And then finally, just for a bit of lived-in realism look, I had a couple of rifles, and these were just from the Grenadier sprue with the weapon straps chopped off and added to the base leaning up against the wall. I like doing this with teams because you want it to like they've been there for a while, or they're going to be digging in, or they're carrying other equipment with them. I mean, often machine gun crews will be carrying rifles or the small arms with them. So I always do that just to give it a kind of a lived-in look. I was going to add some ammunition boxes, but I couldn't actually find any, so that sort of scuppered that plan. But I think I was running out of room on the base anyway. I didn't add any tufts because I think that would have been going a bit too overboard. Hopefully what you can see from the pictures as well is the timbers have been more heavily dry brushed than the rest of the model. Just give it that kind of wood effect. But that's it, and I'm really pretty happy with that, how that's turned out. Again, it's quite a simple technique to use, but working with cork is always really easy. And it does give a really good effect of broken walls and masonry and brickwork. But that is the latest addition to my late war Germans, and that project is slowly coming to a close. I've got half a team of Fallschirmjäger to complete, another MMG team, a Panther, and one last Hanomag. And after that, I'm probably calling it quits for a while because I've got a new project in mind for the new year. But the plan was to have everything done by well, New Year's Day. That's not happened, as I've been really quite lazy over the past couple of days. But with that in mind, it is New Year's Eve, so wherever you are, I hope you all have a fantastic New Year's Eve and a great new year. Thanks to everybody that has shown their support to the channel over the past year. It's been quite humbling, the feedback and the kind comments. So here's to another year on the channel, and also looking at the great content that you guys are creating on your channels. It's always been so inspirational over the past year, and I really enjoy every minute of watching your videos. So keep it up, guys. Really enjoy it. Well, that's the end of the tutorial, if that's what you could call it, sort of. I hope you find it interesting and helpful. If you've got any comments or questions about it, just pop them in the comments section below, and I'll certainly respond to all comments and questions. But for the last time this year, thanks for watching. Take care, may your dice roll well, and I'll catch you all in the next video next year. Bye bye for now.